Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering a classic movie from the Disney Vault, Pollyanna.
Now this film is based on the book of the same name and turns out to be one of Walt Disney's favorites. And a recommendation came from Rhonda Byrne, the writer of The Secret.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification updates of future podcasts and Mono Pause videos.
Absolutely. This movie was a great recommendation. It was nothing like we expected. It was better than we could have imagined, and it was just a wholesome, fun, positive movie that really taught a lesson if you're willing to listen to it.
And with this, we've never read the original book, but now we've seen the movie. If they've kept true to it just as well as this film is so amazing, we'd definitely like to read it to see the source material. But it's true that, Disney really loved this movie, this story a lot. So much we learned that he started immediately the next day after finishing it to start making a movie adaptation of it.
And also currently I am reading Walt Disney's biography. And within it, in the first chapter, it says that Pollyanna, he worked to recreate the place where he grew up for a short time in Kansas with the wholesomeness, including with the skinny dipping that appears in the beginning of the movie and how it's just welcoming and warm and inviting and friendly. And he wanted to recreate that life that he remembered his entire life. And it says that he worked his entire life in every movie trying to recreate that wonderful environment that just made people feel happy and welcome.
Yes.
And for Pollyanna, you really did it.
Right.
And Pollyanna is a young girl who ends up going to live with her aunt, who was named after her, Pollyanna, was added to the end. She was in an orphanage for a while. Her parents passed.
Yes.
And the aunt brought her to live with her. And most of the people that live in this community are older people. There are some kids, but the majority are older. Some are jaded, some are not happy, they complain all the time. They don't have a bright outlook on life. Pollyanna herself is always upbeat, always positive, and she recommends playing the
Glad game.
Yes.
But this glad game is that you have a situation, no matter where you are or what you see, you find the best part about it, and every time you see what you're pretty much grateful for about it.
And this movie resonated with us because within the past almost 5 years, we've actually, both of us, learned to live in this manner. And the inspiration, or the catalyst I should say, for it was reading the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and then the other books that she wrote and doing the magic for 30 days. I completed a lot of it first and then passed it on to Rascal, and have reread it and also watched the movies multiple times.
Right.
But she recommends it in the book and saying if you haven't seen it, you should see it, and it really will make a difference for you. I think when this movie came out, it probably did make a huge difference to people during that time.
Yes.
Right now is such a period piece. It really is, because of the time it takes place in. And it doesn't take place in the 50s when the movie was made. It actually takes place in an earlier time period.
Right. I believe it's supposed to be like early 1900s. Yeah. Because the shorts they even showed were like ones of the past and stuff, and they were from 1800s. It was pretty weird to see that. And they would show a little cartoon before the movie started.
And they had vehicles. So that's how you knew it was with the
Right.
time period had been moved forward a little bit from the book, from what we understand. So that's one of the changes that we did now.
Right. And another thing is that you meet this, as you said, there's all these cast of characters within the town. And at first it started off kind of prickly. Some were actually relieved to see someone more upbeat as opposed to everyone else they dealt with and were fine with it. Some couldn't stand that she was so upbeat. And there are others that were gradually warming up to her being like this, and her positive attitude rubbed off on them, and they started being more outgoing, they started smiling more, they started doing more fun things, and you could see the town slowly changing. It was sort of almost like Anne of Green Gables in a way.
That part I can relate to personally, because I've been that type of person my entire life. I wake up happy in the yes, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. So for that part of the movie, the character, that resonated with me. And again, seeing how she worked with each person just being herself, and no matter what they said to her, she stayed in this positive frame of mind that perfectly represents the secret. If you've read this book or seen this documentary, then you're fully aware of what we're speaking of. And again, the movie's message: find something to be glad about in every situation, no matter what the situation is.
Right.
And she teaches the entire community to do this. The end of the movie, there is an accident, and we thought it was going to go, down the toilet. We thought it was going to go the way Disney movies
like
go
in
now.
the last few minutes, yeah.
But they did not do that, and we were very happy that this movie came to a happy conclusion. It was very pleasant to watch. It's a lot of fun, and again, because it takes place during a different time period, and Disney worked really hard to make it authentic, it's fun to see how things were done, how they dressed, the hairstyles, the manner in which they spoke to each other. And like a lot of movies, they had to have a fair.
Yes. You sure it's not anime with all the festivals and stuff?
Right.
Another thing that I really like is that, you really liked Pollyanna firsthand. She was never annoying or irritating the whole time. Even when she wasn't happy 24/7, it wasn't like, oh gosh, this character. And one thing you like that is because when they have more kids now in modern television, animation, live action, the kids usually almost always have some sort of mean streak in them or some sort of downer personality. If they are happy, they say, oh, someone's behind that, and it's never just straightforward someone being a kid. This was the first movie in a long time we had seen, and it's a much older film, that the kid felt like a kid. It didn't feel like you were watching an actress. It didn't feel like you were seeing someone trying to write a kid, and that kid had a million issues and things, and you weren't enjoying seeing her on screen. Even when she wasn't happy the whole movie, she felt like a kid, and it was just understandable when she took actions and things because she was a kid.
Very true. Very true. And hopefully we'll get to read the book maybe one day. And as you said, see how it compares, that it, they translate most of it. Were they really accurate about keeping the characters as they were written in the book?
Right.
One part I really loved about this DVD, and this was before this became a thing with Blu-ray, there were so many extras on the DVD, including what we learned from the DVD is that this movie aired as a number of segments on a station.
Yeah.
And before each segment and during commercials, Walt Disney would talk to the audience, and he told you about the book Pollyanna. He showed you his copy.
Yes.
And then in the commercial breaks, he would tell you what's happening and where we left off and what to look forward to. And it was really fun. It's a time that most of us who are listening to or in this podcast did not experience. And it seemed to be really hands-on, really inviting, really like, hey, I'm sitting in the living room with you, and I'm just going to talk to you just like we're old friends. And you felt that way when you were watching. It was really a fun part. I wish that the only difference I wish is the movie had been presented the same way it was originally aired, where Disney introduced it, and then you had the segments with the parts he talked to you in between. It was just done as a full feature movie, without interruptions.
Right.
I think either they should have done it the way it was originally aired with Disney segments, or they have given you the option to watch it the way it originally aired, or as a feature-length movie with no interruptions.
Right.
That would have been something really great to do.
Right.
But there were so many other wonderful extras. You got behind the scenes and talk to the actors and showing you costumes and storyboarding and so much more.
Even old trailers.
Right. And again, when this movie came out on DVD, this is not what was being done at the time. And they did a really great job of being trailblazers on having this type of content on here. Unlike it is now, you get Blu-ray, and only with Blu-ray now do you get the special features.
Right.
But if you get this movie, watch all the special features. They're fun, and they really bring much more understanding to your enjoyment of the movie. We watched it after we watched the movie. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. And it's definitely something you will have seen. It's totally a G-rated movie. It's a family movie. It's truly a family movie, not PG and then darkness happens. It's not that thing. It really, truly does stay a family film you can watch with anybody at any age.
Absolutely. So if you've seen Pollyanna at any time, as it aired originally on a DVD, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, check your local library. Amazon, I think, has it, and that's the only place I've seen it besides Disney Plus. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. Let us know what you think. Come back and tell us what you think in the comments.
And be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates to future podcasts and multiple pause videos.
And this is airing on January 15th, Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. And we thought a movie that talked about positivity and finding something to be grateful for and glad in every situation was a great way to honor Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Last year we did
our friend Martin.
Yeah, our friend Martin. And unfortunately now it's kind of difficult finding things that even pertain to the holiday or him to watch. So this is what we came up with. Next year, hopefully we'll have something that's just as uplifting and inspiring as well.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Oscar Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.